Okay, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever in the world you are at, or if you're watching this in the future, good day to you. This is the Geo Show, and I am Geo Brandon. Today we have a really special show for you guys, and it's a lot of firsts for us. It's our first hangout on air from Thailand, finally, and also it's our first hangout that we are going to do about food, which is really exciting because I love food. And this is also our first hangout where the other half of Geo Show is going to make her appearance. And I'm going to introduce her in just 1 second. But before we do, if you're watching on the outside, you can still participate in Geo Show. Just go ahead and get your Twitter ready to answer any questions, send in any comments, or answer our trivia question that we'll have coming up. First, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our example of our Twitter questions. So send in your Twitter questions to #GeoShow. Go ahead and send them to #GeoShow, and we'll pull them up and answer them if we can. So before we head on further, we do have a couple of classes with us, and if they're available, we'll check into let them introduce themselves if they can pick a volunteer to do that. And we're going to go ahead and shoot over to Mrs. Iron's class. If someone would like to tell us who you are and where you are and introduce yourself in your life. All right, so we could not hear you, or at least I could not hear you, so you might want to flip on your mic the next time you guys are ready to ask a question. And if Janie, if you guys are available, can you guys tell us who you are and what grade you are?
Look this way at the camera.
My name is Donovan, and this is Alfred North Island. I'm speaking of Miss Hampton's class.
And Miss Napolitano.
And Miss Napolitano.
All right.
Were you able to hear them?
Yeah, a little bit. So you guys are, I can fill it in. So you guys are from Texas, and what grade are you guys, this class?
Second.
Second grade.
All right.
Second.
Great. Okay, really exciting. So I hope you guys like food. I love food, and we have a great food talk about Thailand because Thailand has some really amazing and delicious food. But we're going to get to that in just 1 second. First, I do want to say we do have a trivia question in today's broadcast. So I'll bring it up again after our first segment. But I want to go ahead and introduce it because not only do we have a trivia question, but we have a prize. So if you can send in the answer, I will take the first correct answer on Twitter, and whoever can do it, I have a bunch of Thai snacks that I will send your class, to your class, if your teacher gives me your address to your school, and I can send it to you from Thailand. How cool is that? So our trivia question is, what's the most commonly used rice in Thailand? What is the most common used rice in Thailand? Is it A, arborio, B, basmati, or C, jasmine? Which one of those types of rice is the most common used in Thai cooking? And the first person who can, or first classroom who can send me the correct answer on Twitter will win a package of Thai snacks. They're due into our following Geo Show from the beginning. You know two things. One, you know that there is someone else behind Geo Show, and two, you know that we have way too beautiful pictures and videos for me to be doing that. So the other half of Geo Show is Kelsey, and Kelsey is an amazing artist and photographer, and she's the person that makes the videos and makes me look good. So she's also a lot more of an expert with food than I am, because I only have a vocabulary of 3 words for food: good, bad, and ugh. Right? So I'm not the person to ask about food. She is. So with that said, I'm going to give you guys over to Kelsey, and she's going to share with you what she has been discovering about Thai food.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Kelsey, and I am the behind-the-scenes person for Geo Show. I make all the videos and take the pictures and do all of that. So it's strange for me to be in front of the camera, but I'm excited to share with you guys. So you know that last month we were in Indonesia, and the food in Indonesia was okay, but it wasn't that special. It was very similar: a lot of fried rice, a lot more fried rice, and then some more fried rice, which is fine, but it got kind of boring. So I was really excited to come to Thailand because I've always really liked Thai food, and I was looking forward to that being the main option because there's so many different choices. And so we decided the best way to learn would be to actually take a cooking class so that we could not only taste some more foods, but learn how to do it so that once we are back home, we can continue to make that Thai food every night. So I have created another little video to kind of give you an idea of what we did for that day, and let's start that up. All right, so we figured the best way to learn about cooking is to start in the grocery store, right? So in the US, we have a lot of big grocery stores. In Thailand, they have a lot of these smaller markets. And so you get to go and see all of the produce and the people, and it was really cool for me because I love grocery shopping, to see all of the different things that were available, both that I knew already and new foods that I hadn't seen, like this banana flour, apparently. Or these are bamboo roots. I don't know what to do with that. And this is chicken blood that apparently you put in soup. I thought these were curly fries, but it's actually deep-fried pig skin, and that one was making a mountain. So also they package things differently. Instead of plastic, they use a lot of bamboo flowers and even bags to carry their eggs. One of the greatest things we saw was this is a royal project, so it's like a government-subsidized program to grow organic food for these tribe people that were growing opium, and instead now they can be subsidized by growing this organic food. So once we figured we knew how to make things or what to make it with, we should learn how to actually make it. So we took this class where they provided all of the ingredients and all of the tools that you needed to get everything together. And then we had a great instructor who did all of the demonstrations so that we had a better idea of what we were going to do. And then it was basically our turn to just practice, see how it came out. My appetizer was a spring roll, so I learned how to roll them. Unfortunately, I am gluten-free, and these had gluten wheat flour outsides, so I learned how to make them, but then Brandon got to eat them. He also made a papaya salad, so he's making the dressing with some chilies and some fish sauce, checking it out, and then he mixed it with some green papaya, so it's like a spicy fruit salad almost. We both made pad thai for our main dish, and then we also made some extra soups. My favorite part was we learned how to make curry paste. So we grounded up all of the spices, and then we added chili peppers based on what kind of curry and how spicy we wanted it. And it took forever because we had to pound it all the way to a paste. And eventually, we all had our different ones that we could use in the rest of our cooking. So once we had the ingredients down and all of the techniques to get ready, it was time to actually just sit down and enjoy all of the food that we had made ourselves. And it was awesome. So it was one of the greatest days because I love to cook, but I usually just kind of look on the internet for recipes, and I don't always really understand them, but I try them, and sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're bad. Brandon will eat any of it, so it doesn't really matter. But it was nice to actually know what was going into things and how to do it. So now that we've been to a restaurant a couple times since then, I can like taste the ingredients even more because now I understand how to make it, which is making the whole experience in Thailand way more interesting. So I would love to see if you guys have any questions about Thai food or any of the ingredients that you saw in the marketplace. I'm not sure. Do we have any Twitter questions? Oh, we got a new classroom and a hand up. I like that. Okay, so I guess Janie's class. There was Janie's class. Sorry, the little boy in the front with the black shirt.
Do they have hot peppers?
They have so many peppers, and they use the peppers differently. So it's one kind of pepper, so like one species of pepper, but depending on how old it is, they use it differently. So green peppers are like baby peppers, and they are not as spicy. But then once they turn red, they get even more spicy. But if you use a fresh one, so if it's still like soft, it's really spicy. But if you dry it in the sun, then it's like less spicy. So you have to pick the peppers carefully to make sure you have the right one. About Mrs. Irons? Irons, sorry. Did you guys have a question? Nope, running away. I hear them laughing. All right, let's go to Catherine's class. You guys see us? You're almost there. Yeah, I can see you now. Do you guys? There's a girl in a blue shirt all the way on the left side with cute blonde hair. No? You changed your mind? All right, how about in the purple shirt?
Ask her about the food she saw.
Yeah.
How does that know which one is the right peppers and which one aren't?
What's the right temperature?
What's the right peppers?
How do
Oh,
you know which pepper?
so if you want to make green curry, you have to use green peppers. If you want to make, I made padang curry, so I used one fresh pepper. So that was very spicy. One red fresh pepper. And then Brandon made a different curry, and so they had a lot of dried peppers. So I needed one fresh pepper, but he needed like 4 dried peppers. So each recipe and each curry has like, they tell you which one to pick. How about Mrs. Iron's class in the Superman?
What foods would they use chicken blood for?
Well, our teacher said that they don't put chicken blood in for the tourists. So I don't know. They only give the chicken blood to the Thai, like, local people. So if I go to a restaurant, they won't put the chicken blood in my food. But if our teacher goes to the restaurant, then they'll put it in her food. So I don't know where it goes. How about, oh, we have another question from the same class. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do they have seafood?
They do have seafood. They have a lot of shrimp. So most of the soups have at least like one shrimp. And in the U.S., you usually have like no peeled. Here, they put the whole thing inside the soup. So you can take it off if you want to, like the arms, or you can just eat the whole thing, even the shell. We have another question from, this is Catherine's class. Oh, Janie's class, sorry. There's a little boy right in front of the camera in the gray shirt.
How do y'all grow y'all's peppers?
They grow them all over the place. Like in a garden, they grow maybe like 2 feet tall. Like, have you seen green beans grow? So they have to have like a string or a piece of wood. Otherwise, they'll fall. Are the same, and they grow like maybe 20 peppers on one plant. And how about Linda's class? We got somebody's hand was up. Ooh, how about Little Mermaid?
They're ride bicycles.
They do ride bicycles. I saw a lot of bicycles, but they ride more motorcycles. So really fast, scary bicycles. I don't want to ride one. It's scary. How about Mrs. Iron's class, right in the front?
How much meat do they put in it? In the food?
It depends. So sometimes if you get like a chicken dish, it's all chicken with like little vegetables. But then sometimes if you get like a curry dish, it's a lot of vegetables and a little bit of chicken. So when we were cooking, one of my dishes, it was a curry dish, padang, I think was its name, and it had 3 pieces of chicken, but a whole onion, garlic, other peppers, mushrooms, carrots, had a lot of vegetables, but a little bit of meat in that one. How about Janie's class? We got a skull. Yeah,
What's
bud.
the hottest pepper?
Oh, the hottest
What's the
pepper.
hottest?
Yeah, the hottest pepper is a fresh red pepper. And apparently the
I thought
little ones.
I thought it was the fresh ghost pepper.
I don't know. I only know one type of pepper, and then it depends on what color it is. So the red little fresh pepper is the most spicy.
All right.
Thank you.
How about?
This is a reminder. You can send in your questions or comments to #GeoShow. So if you're watching from outside, you're not on one of our video guest classrooms, you can still participate, so send in your questions. And we have a trivia question today. And the trivia question is, what's the most common used rice in Thailand? What's the most common used rice in Thailand? Is it A, arborio, B, basmati, or C, jasmine? I'll take the first correct answer, and we'll introduce that after our next video segment, and we will give that classroom a prize.
All right. So let's take a couple more classroom questions. How about Linda's class? All the way in the back, in the blue shirt. She's just dancing and her question.
Ask your question.
Good. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
No. You don't want to talk.
Aiden, do you have a question?
No? How about the girl in the purple pants?
The pepper should be done. Are there centipedes over there?
Yes. And sometimes they're really big, and sometimes they bite you and you get like sick. They're like poison centipedes. They're really scary. I saw one on the sidewalk, and it was like a spiral, but it was like this big. on its body, like long, and then like this long. It was really scary. All right, how about Janie's class, the girl in the blue long sleeve? Yeah.
Jessica.
Jessica, come stand over here, please.
You didn't raise your hand, Chloe.
Is there an ocean there?
There is an ocean. Thailand is big on the top and then really skinny and really long. So there's two oceans. One of the oceans would be the Flores Sea. No? I don't know the names. But there's two oceans next to it. I'm trying to look it up. Sorry. Alright, we'll look that up and we'll let you know. How about same class, Janie's class, the girl standing up? Yeah, right in the front.
Well,
How long does it take for a fresh pepper?
How long does it take?
were you able to hear that?
Say that one more
How
time.
long does it take for a fresh pepper?
To grow?
She's waiting.
I think that it takes a couple of months. So they plant them in maybe like April or May, and then in like August or September, that's when they are red. So they're green and not so spicy, or you can wait until they turn red, and then so I think maybe 3 months from a baby to a big plant. How about?
All right. We have a Twitter question that says, what time is it over there right now? What time is over there right now? And Kelsey, can you tell us what time is it over here?
It is 12:25 a.m. on Saturday. It's the middle of the night for us. The middle of the day for you guys, but it is late here. So we are almost the opposite.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. That's
it
cool.
is cool, except that I'm sleepy. All right, how about Mrs. Iron's class? Do we have any questions?
Have you gotten to go to the markets with the boats?
We didn't go to one of the big ones, but we did took a small boat through a canal in Bangkok, and there were other small boats that like swam up to our boat, and they had like tourist souvenirs. So there weren't vegetables, but they were boats with the little store on them.
That's cool. Do you have, or we read that a lot of Thailand is Buddhist,
Mhm.
and that they don't eat meat. So is there a lot of meat for sale?
That's right.
Yeah, we'll let Brandon answer that one.
Okay.
All right. So I've been doing a lot of research on this end and been going to a lot of temples and talking to the monks. When we were in Korea, this is why I was confused. In Korea, the Korean monks do not eat meat at all. Right? I asked the monks the other day here, and they said they do eat meat only if they know that whatever's being killed is not for them. So, for example, the monks here do morning alms. So they walk around at about 6 o'clock in the morning with a pole, and they accept food offerings from the community. And so if you were to give a monk a piece of meat, they would not say no. They would accept it. However, if you said, hey, I'm going to go kill this chicken for you, then they would say, no, I don't want it. Okay? Or they would not kill anything themselves. So apparently they do eat meat here, but Buddhists in different places in the world, they don't always eat meat. So you are correct there. And I was confused about that myself, and that's the answer that I was given.
Very interesting.
All right. We got any more questions? How about Linda's class? How about the little boy in the behind the Little Mermaid?
How many schools there are? How many schools there are? How many schools there are?
Say that again.
How many schools there are?
How many schools?
What's the name to the schools?
There are a lot of schools. So in the U.S., they have so many schools, right? It's the same in Thailand. So every town has 1 or 2 schools. So I don't know their names. There's too many. How about Janie's class? Someone in the front. Oh, how about this guy? Yeah, in the green.
Be quiet.
Go ahead, bud.
The highest pepper in the world is ghost
Oh my
pepper.
gosh, you guys get off this.
Ghost. Yeah, you're right. I did know that, but I haven't seen ghost peppers in Thailand, so I don't know if they use them. But you're right. I did know that.
All right, we have another question on Twitter, and 7HIW Music says, have you seen anyone fall out of a boat? Kelsey, have you seen anyone fall out of a boat here?
I have not seen anyone fall out of a boat, but I did see some people swimming next to our boat, but I also saw a monitor lizard swimming next to a boat. So I hope that the monitor lizard and the boys that were swimming didn't swim together. That would be terrible. All right, how about, any more questions? How about Linda's class? Yeah, the little girl next to the Little Mermaid. Oh, how about, oh yeah. Go ahead.
Which candy do you not eat over there?
Which
What candy you eat over there?
candy? I don't know. We were trying to look and see some candy, and it was a lot of Hershey candy, so U.S. candy. But we're going to go on a hunt tomorrow for some Thai candy when the more stores are open. All right. So we're going to, instead of candy, we're going to show you how to make a different dessert, which is really easy and tastes like candy. So, just so you know, Brandon is going to teach you how to make bananas in coconut milk.
Hey Explorers, this is Geo Brandon and you're watching The Geo Show. Today I'm going to show you how to make a popular Thai dessert, bananas and coconut milk. So let's get started. To make this recipe, we only need 4 ingredients. First, we need bananas, palm sugar, coconut milk, and salt. First, we're going to heat up about a cup of coconut milk over medium heat. Then we're going to stir in 2 tablespoons of palm sugar. And then we're going to taste it. If it's too sweet and we want to bring out the coconut flavor, you can add a pinch to a half tablespoon of salt. After boiling the coconut milk and palm sugar for 3 minutes, add the bananas, lower to a simmer, and cook until done. Add a garnish and serve warm in a bowl, and enjoy this delicious Thai dessert. That's it, guys. This was a simple recipe for you to try at home. If you can't find the palm sugar, you can always use white sugar. Everything else should be easy to find. Until next time, I'm Geo Brandon, and you've been watching The Geo Show. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed learning about how to make bananas and coconut milk. It's a really popular dessert here. Now, dessert is not traditionally something that is as popular in Thailand as, say, in the USA or Europe. But this is one dessert that they do eat a lot. and it's really easy to make. I was really surprised. If I can make this, I'm pretty sure you can. And so the only tough ingredient that you may have to find, like I said, was the palm sugar, but you can use regular white sugar as well. So that's okay. And I will, if you are a participating class of GeoShow, I'll send a PDF to your teacher that will have the recipe written down for you as well, in case you were not taking notes there. So no worries. So we're going to go ahead and open up questions for not only about Thai food. So if you still have questions about Thai food, please ask them. However, if you have any other questions about Thailand or about the whole GeoShow trip so far, and this is Kelsey's first time joining us, so remember you can ask us anything that you want, and we'll go ahead and remember that you can ask on Twitter if you're watching from the outside. And we're going to go ahead and send it back over to Janie's class. So you guys are live if you would like to answer a question. Someone's coming up with a sweet cat question when you are ready.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh. We forgot.
You forgot. I do that too.
That's okay. We're going to jump over. Remember your question. If you want to stay up, I'll go right back to you. We'll jump over to Linda's class real quick, and then Mrs. Iron's class. Okay, so in Linda's class, let's get at someone new, someone who has not answered a question or asked a question yet. What about the girl sitting on her knee on the right?
What kind of animals do you have there?
All right, great question. What kind of animals? Well, there's lots of animals that we have in the U.S. So there's lots of birds and mammals and all kinds of things. However, they're a lot different because we're on the other side of the world. So one big one that everyone loves is the elephant. So elephants are a huge part of Thai culture, and they have a huge history in Thailand. In fact, you guys voted for us to do a show about elephants. However, we had to, we'll talk about it our next hangout, but it took us a little while to find a place that we wanted to visit because there are some issues about some of the tourist elephant companies that do the elephant trekking. However, we found a really good one, and we have a really cool show we're going to share with you guys next week about the elephants. Also, tigers. So tigers are in Thailand traditionally. So now you're more likely to see them in a zoo or an animal park. Of course, there's snakes and bats and just all kinds of cool critters. And there's too many to name. I would encourage you to go research any other kind of cool animals. Also, our monkeys, if you remember or watch the video or hang out from Bali, our same monkeys are here in Thailand as well. So we're going to go ahead over to Mrs. Iron's class. A great question about the animals. Okay.
Why is it called Thailand?
Okay, so the answer I was giving the other day was that I said earlier I was talking to the monks. One of the monks told me that Thai means free. So it means free land. And so that's why it's been one of the countries that a lot of refugees from surrounding places like the old Burma have come into Thailand because it was known as free land. So I have not looked it up myself, but that's what he told me, and he knows more than I do because he is Thai, so I believe him. But great question. Let's go over to Jay. We have someone ready to ask a question.
Right away. Yeah, go.
What types of What other types of traditions do you do?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Say it loud, Cassandra.
What other types of traditions do you do?
Traditions?
Okay,
Traditions.
traditions. All right. So this is something that we're still actively learning about. So remember, we are both from the U.S. and we're here to learn and share with you guys. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier, and this is a great question because I'm really excited to share this with you. One of our votes this week, so don't forget to go vote, is our Friday hangout next week is either going to be about Buddhism in Korea, where we'll talk to some monks, or, really excited, we're about to participate in the New Year for Thailand. This will be our 4th New Year this year. So we had the International New Year's, the Korean New Year, we were in Bali for the Balinese New Year with Geo Show, and now our 2nd Geo Show New Year is going to be Thailand New Year, and it's also known as the Water Festival. So I just bought this big guy today, so I am really, really, Kelsey is not as happy that I have this, but I am going to have fun over the next 3 days, and we're going to be learning all about the Water Festival, and part of it is they go and they wash the Buddha statues on the religious side of things, and then the fun side of things is just a big 3-day water fight, because right now is the hottest time in Thailand. Is it hot here?
So hot here.
It's very hot. Actually,
It was 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so 38 degrees Celsius here the other day. It was terrible.
okay, so we're going to go back to Mrs. Iron's class. I see a hand up. Yep, right up front.
Why do they mainly have Hershey's candy over there?
Okay, so this is one of the things that comes with when you start learning about. Do you know what globalization means? Okay, so the world is very big, but it's getting very small. With technology, we can fly to the other side of the world in only 12 hours now. And part of that is businesses are spreading around. McDonald's is everywhere around the world. And tonight I went into a 7-Eleven to try to find a lot of Thai candy to show you guys.
But a 7-Eleven.
Exactly.
There are 7-Elevens here.
So I went into a 7-Eleven and saw Hershey's, and there's some Reese's and a lot of German candy. So there's a lot of international candy. In the local stores, it's a lot more. Someone asked a question earlier about candy. Traditionally, Thai people eat fruit, and they do have some little candies, but they didn't really have big companies like Hershey's when other people started coming. So now, just like you and me, they like a lot of the candies that you eat. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to answer. Let's see. We have a question on Twitter. So what are the popular foods there in Thailand? So what are the popular foods? So I'll answer first and let Kelsey chime in. So there's a lot of spicy food. We already talked about peppers. There's a lot of rice noodles. There's a lot of rice here. And so there's a lot of nuts and things. A lot of peanut-based sauces. And what else would you say is very popular dishes here?
So the most common thing would be a curry. So you can have a curry soup, curry rice, curry vegetables. There's a lot of curry, which is great because I love curry, but I can understand how it. They also have a lot of rice. So all of their noodles are also rice-based, which is great for me because, like I said before, I am on a gluten-free diet, so I can't have spaghetti, which is hard in the U.S. or anywhere, really. But in Asia, most of the noodles are made out of rice flour, and so I can eat all of them, which is great.
Okay, so we asked a trivia question. If you are in our classrooms and you have a question, hold on to your questions. We're going to wrap things up, finish our broadcast, and then we're going to hang around, and as long as you guys have time, and answer any questions that you have. But we did want to, before we end the broadcast, go ahead back to our trivia question. And so our trivia question today was, what's the most commonly used rice in Thailand? Is it A, arborio, B, basmati, or C, jasmine? I said I would send the prize to the first correct answer. And so we had Mrs. Irons' class chimed in with B, basmati, and that is not correct. And our next one was C, jasmine. So jasmine is the correct answer. So jasmine rice is the most used rice in Thailand.
It is also the biggest export from Thailand. So Thailand sends out more jasmine rice than anything else from their country to the rest of the world.
So we are going to send, Janie's going to send me your address, and we're going to send your classroom some snacks I already picked up and some other candies that we can find that's not Hershey's, that's Thai candy, because there is out there. And we'll send that to you. But they didn't get in quite fast enough, but we had some other correct answers. So 7HIW Music says jasmine, which is correct, but we're not quick enough. And let's see, we have another one.
Sierra
Clemens 5 says, is it jasmine? Yes, it is jasmine. So great answer, but not quick enough for the prize, but you do get 1,000 cool points. And we have another question. How do you choose the places you go before we vote? All right, how do you choose the places we go before you vote? This is a great question because it's not completely random, because two things. One is it's expensive to travel around, so I can't give anywhere, and because to be time efficient, right, we would have to fly every single place to get places quick enough. So usually what happens, and I said on our last broadcast, Indonesia was a hard country because it's all islands and they're very narrow. So once you start going one way, you kind of have to continue going that way. But Indonesia was tough. We had to get here and get to a place before we can go. And we knew that we wanted to share with you this water festival, the New Year's. And from our research, Chiang Mai was the best place to do that. So we decided to start in Chiang Mai and go where you guys voted after that. So you voted for us to go to the south on Tuesday night. We're getting another night train. It's going to be 12 hours back to Bangkok, and then another 10 to 12 hours into the south. So it's going to take a long time to get there, but that's why our hangouts next week are going to be later in the week, Thursday and Friday, because it's going to be a lot of travel next week. All right, so a lot of great questions. Classrooms, hang out right there. We're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to stay on and answer any questions that you have. If you're watching from the outside or watching this in the future, remember, if you go to www.geoshow.tv, you get to choose where we go, what we do, within reason, as we just answered, that we can afford and that is logistically possible to get to. So don't forget to go vote there. Our votes are closing this Sunday, and then some new ones will be up. And stay tuned for Cambodia is going to be next. So I'm Geo Brandon. You've been watching The Geo Show, and until next time, keep exploring.